Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Tonight is Tuesday, June 2nd, and this is the Kingsburg City Council regular meeting. Tonight, the invocation will be given by Pastor Marlon Hyatt of the Kingsburg Covenant Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you all could please stand and remove your hats.
Good evening, Council, and I want to just congratulate you on 60th Swedish Festival festivities. As I watched you, I was proud of each of you, and our community has a lot to be thankful for. And so now, where we go from here, the Lord only knows, but I know you'll be faithful in watching and just being active in meaningful ways. So I want to thank the Lord for that together this evening. Lord, thank you for your love and your care. Thank you for our city. And I thank you for our council. Lord, thank you for how they want to be actively involved. Many of them sacrificing and giving in many ways that we do not see. And for tonight, we just want to celebrate here together. We want to give thanks. We want to say, Lord, so where to from here? What's next? What's on the horizon? So I pray that you would give wisdom. Lord, I pray that you would give that extra added ability to have a measure of grace and of mercy where that's needed, and of care and of love. And Lord, to lead in a way that is really meaningful for all involved. We just thank you, Lord, tonight for your goodness and just the way that you operate your kingdom. We have a lot to learn on how to operate, how to minister, how to serve, how to take care of people. And I thank you that that's your specialty. And so tonight we rejoice and we look to you. And would you come and be here with your presence right here in the middle of this meeting? And we'll give you all the honor and praise and glory forever and ever. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And now we'll have the call to order. Can you take a roll call vote?
Present. Here.
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 Here. So our first item is to approve the agenda. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is presentation and informal reports. The fire department badge pinning, and I'd like to call up Chief Roberts.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council and City staff. This evening, we are proud to recognize a captain promotion within the Kingsburg Fire Department, welcome 2 new full-time firefighter paramedics, and honor our part-time firefighter EMTs and part-time firefighter paramedics through a badge pinning. As part of our effort to restore meaningful tradition, we are reintroducing the swearing-in process and formally presenting badges to our part-time staff. These traditions reflect a commitment to professionalism, service, and the department's values. Tonight, 6 staff members are participating in the ceremony, and additional members were unable to attend due to recent losses in their families. Our prayers are with them in this difficult time. At this time, I'd like to call up our members that have not been formally ceremonially sworn in with the fire department and with the city here. So I'd like to have Alex Salinas, John Fent, Andrew Molina, Joey Hayes, Andrea Vincia, Acevedo. Come up to the front, please. And we'll have you guys come right over here.
Hi, guys. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I'm gonna say I, and you guys are gonna say your name. Then so, I, Roberta, do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
which I'm about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
All right.
Let's go ahead and stay there. All right. So the first person I'd like to recognize tonight is Alex Salinas. He's a full-time firefighter paramedic. Alec was born and raised here in the Central Valley. Alec was a Valley ROP student at Sanger High. That's where I had the privilege to meet him and teach him as I was a teacher there. He was able to use the skills he learned in Valley ROP when he was with his mother. We're in a terrible accident where he was instrumental in saving her life. Continuing his education in this field, he attended and graduated from Fresno City Fire Academy in June 2023. He worked for 5 years as a firefighter EMT and as a field training officer, FTO, for a private ambulance service in Fresno County. In June 2024, Alec completed his paramedic program through West Hills College, Lemoore. In his spare time, Alec likes fly fishing as well as spending time with his family and friends. Alex started with Kingsburg Fire Department in March 2024 as a part-time firefighter EMT. He was reclassed in September 2024 as a part-time firefighter paramedic. He was hired full-time with the city December 2025 as a full-time firefighter paramedic. Tonight, his mother, Claudia, has the honor of pinning him. Can you please come up, Claudia? We'll have you come up. Next, we have John Fent, full-time firefighter paramedic. John was born and raised in Clovis and graduated from Clovis High School. He then attended and graduated Fresno City Fire Academy, class of 57, and in July 2024, he completed the paramedic program through Fresno County EMS. John comes to us after 4 years of private ambulance service with Fresno County. John is married and has a son. In his spare time, John enjoys fishing and spending time with his family. John started with us in March 2026 as a full-time firefighter paramedic. Tonight, his wife, Indigo, has the honor of pinning him. Can she please come forward? Everything for it? All right, there you go. I'll save the flowers for her. All right. Next up, we have Andrew Molina, part-time firefighter EMT. Andrew graduated from Parlier High School in 2013. He graduated from Fresno City Fire Academy in October 2023. He started with Kingsburg as an intern. Andrew enjoyed working for Kingsburg so much that he stayed beyond his internship and was eventually hired part-time. Andrew was down here a lot. He volunteered a lot of time and we appreciate it. Andrew is currently enrolled in the paramedic program through Bakersfield College and expected to complete in early 2027. Andrew has 2 daughters, and in his spare time, Andrew enjoys making videos. He makes most of our fire department videos that we have. He started with Kingsburg Fire Department in October 2024 as a part-time firefighter EMT. Pinning him tonight, his step-parents, Louie and Liz, have the honor of pinning him. Come up, please. Thank you so much. The last guy didn't want them. All right. Next up, we have Joey Hayes, part-time firefighter EMT. Joseph graduated from Sandy Bluff High School in 2019. He graduated from Fresno City Fire Academy in December 2024. Joseph was an intern with Kingsburg Fire Department before being hired as a part-time. Joseph has experience working as the Stanislaus, right? Stanislaus, Hot Shots, and a firefighter for the U.S. Forest Service. In his spare time, Joseph enjoys working out, snowboarding, hiking, and eating sardines that we found out at the fire department. He started with Kingsburg Fire Department in October 2024 as a part-time firefighter EMT. Tonight, his mother, Rebecca, has the honor of pinning him. Yep, please come on up here. Next up, we have Andrea Acevedo. Andrea graduated from Sierra Pacific High School in 2014. In June 2017, Andrea earned her associate's degree from West Hills College, Lemoore. She's worked for private ambulance service in Fresno County for many years prior to joining Kingsburg Fire Department. In June 2023, Andrea completed the paramedic program through Fresno County EMS. She completed her firefighter certificate through Department of Defense Fire and Emergency Service Certification Program in October 2025. In her spare time, Andrea enjoys playing softball, traveling with her dog, spending quality time with her family and friends. Doing so has created some of her favorite memories and reminds her how important it is to enjoy the journey along the way. And I didn't mention before, but she is a part-time firefighter paramedic with us. She started in January 2025 as a part-time single role non-safety medic, and in 2026 as a part-time firefighter paramedic. And her mother, Tamara, has the honor of opinion heard tonight. All right. Devin Young, can you please come on up? Come up to the front. Devin Young, fire captain. Devin Young was born and raised in Los Angeles. Devin has been living and working as a paramedic here in the Central Valley for almost 10 years. He graduated from Porterville Fire Academy in November 2021. He serves as a Department Public Information Officer and teaches paramedic students at Bakersfield College. Devin is married and has 3 children. In his spare time, he loves to travel, play sports, and spend time with his family and friends. He started with the department in July 2020 as a part-time non-safety paramedic and hired full-time in December 2021 as a full-time firefighter paramedic. And in March 2026, he was promoted to captain. Tonight, his wife, Jessica, has the honor of pinning him. This concludes our ceremony, but I would like to have the family to come up with our badge pin candidates here and take some pictures, and also hopefully with the council too, and get some great pictures. Thank you very much. It's an honor to serve in each and every one of you. And thank you so much for all the family members that showed up tonight. Your support is what truly makes our fire department great and our city great. And I just can't thank you enough for the support that you give them to allow them to come to work and work here in a great city. Thank you. I don't really have an agenda for pictures. Yeah. Family, if you could come up and we'll get some pictures.
You have to go, you have, okay. Now we're gonna open up our time for public comment. This provides an opportunity for members of the public to address the city council on items of interest to the public within the council's jurisdiction, which are not already on the agenda this evening. It is the policy of council not to answer questions impromptu. Speakers should limit their comments to not more than 3 minutes. For items which are on the agenda this evening, the members of public will be given an opportunity to address the council as each item is brought up for discussion. Is there anyone here for public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment and move to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine and include a recommended action from staff and shall be acted on in one motion of the council. If a council member requests additional information or would like to pull an item for discussion, that item shall be pulled from the consent calendar and acted upon separately. A motion to approve the consent calendar is deemed to include a motion to waive the full reading of any ordinance or resolution on the consent calendar. Tonight, we have items 1 through 6. Would any council member like an item to be discussed? Would any staff or member of the public like to pull an item for discussion? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our regular calendar, we have a public hearing. The master fee schedule update, fire department fees, including ambulance fee, public works department fees, including disposal fees and water rate fees, trolley rental fees, notary fees. Staff report prepared by City Manager Alexander Henderson. I am now going to open the public hearing.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. Each year, as part of our budget development, staff reviews the existing master fee schedule to determine if changes are needed to ensure services provided are being adequately funded by the appropriate parties and taxpayers are not responsible for funding or subsidizing activities that are either development-driven or are driven by private parties. Such fees shall in no case exceed the actual cost of providing the service in compliance with Article 12B, Section 8, Sub C of the California Constitution. This evening, we have a couple of fees that we are recommending for change that would take effect as part of the starting July 1, 2026. The first are the ambulance and fire department. Each year, the ambulance service fee adjustment is proposed based upon the Los Angeles Long Beach Consumer Price Index for April 2026. And this year reflects an increase of 3.4%. Notably, the city has experienced cost increases exceeding the current inflation rate of 3.4%, particularly in fuel, replacement equipment, and supplies and labor. In addition, based upon the ambulance rate survey summary report provided by the Central California Emergency Medical Services Agency and recommendations from the city's third-party ambulance billing provider, Sharp Ambulance, it is advised to adjust the advanced life support or ALS compensation rates. Specifically, the ALS 1 compensation rate should be increased by an additional $200, while the ALS 2 compensation rate is recommended to be reduced by $200. The master fee schedule also includes an update to include a previously limited fee of $35 for firefighter EMT services. There is a new fee of $50 per hour to be established for SCBA cylinder refills. This is only would be charged when local businesses request those services. And then there are amendments to include the removal of the Be Safe self-inspection program and renaming it the Be Safe Annual Inspection to the Fire Department Annual Inspection to better reflect its purpose for state mandated inspections, including facilities such as daycares, schools, and jails. Also, as Public Works, there are 2 rate changes proposed, including to the solid waste rate schedule as proposed during the Prop 218 hearing. previously approved, as well as the water rates and the master fee schedule reflecting the Prop 218 that was completed last year as part of the 2025-31 resolution. We are also recommending rate changes of $25 an hour for the trolley rental fees to help reflect increased fuel costs. And then there is a change from $10 to $15 for our notary public fees, which is more in line with industry standard. By law, council must authorize the fees that are charged, and for transparency reasons, we have noticed the increases as a public hearing this evening. I'm certainly happy to answer any questions that you may have, but that concludes my report and proposed recommendation from staff for the fee schedule. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Council discussion? Okay, is there any public questions on this item? Okay, very good. Well, if there are no additional questions, I will entertain no. I am going to close the public hearing. Public comment. I am going to close public comment. And now I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back for any final thoughts. And if not, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2026-018 approving the proposed fees as presented.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is the 2026-2027 City Manager's recommended budget introduction. Staff report prepared by City Manager Alexander Henderson.
Oh, yeah. Madam Mayor, members of council, in accordance with the City Charter 2.08.090 sub G, I'm pleased to present the city manager's proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 operating and capital improvement budget. This is our major policy document for the city for the coming year and is based upon the strategic planning principles as adopted by the council, including financial stability, community safety, preserving the Kingsburg experience, community engagement, and supporting businesses. I'll start this evening by going over just a brief overview of the 2025-2026 budget, so our current year, and then I will introduce the 2026-2027 budget. And then certainly please interrupt if there are any questions that you may have. As we are nearing the end of this fiscal year, a couple of trends that we've noticed is moderate property tax growth, higher motor vehicle licensing fees, which is based upon vehicle market values and our population. We've had steady building permit fees, although activity has been a little bit slower from previous years because of less single family starts. We are expecting that to increase with phase 5 of the Crinclaw development getting underway in the next fiscal year. But overall revenues are trending either at or above original budget projections, mainly due to continuing property tax growth and steady development activity. Our recreation funds are a part of our general fund, but we break them out specifically to show how both our pool and our senior center are operating. But you will see we do operational transfers of just shy of $150,000 from the general fund to the pool and $100,000 from the general fund to the senior center each year. From an expenditure standpoint, the largest expenditure we have in the pool is through lifeguard wages. We do have a 50% split with the high school for items that are covered under our Joint Powers Authority for eligible times and expenses, which include capital expenditures. And then the major costs for our senior center are related to our meal supplies, as we do all that in-house. And some of those have been offset by a grant from the Kingsburg Health District as well as Hillbloom. We do operate 3 enterprise funds, which are our water enterprise fund, our solid waste, and our ambulance and fire. These revenues, again, for our enterprise funds, they are intended to offset the cost to provide those services. Both our water and solid waste funds have a recommendation for that we just had previously for changes in the coming year. They both also had changes in the current year. This was the first year for our water enterprise fund after a Prop 218 process roughly a year ago. Our fire and ambulance fund is expected to operate in the positive as part of this fiscal year. Much of our revenues in that fund are dependent upon what's called an intergovernmental transfer, which is a portion of funding that we receive from the federal government that covers costs of transport over and above what we might recover from somebody who we transport to the hospital. So, for example, if they're on Medi-Cal or Medicare, we're only getting a portion of that revenue returned. And so that helps us keep our costs down as much as we can. So it is an integral part of providing that service for fire and ambulance. And again, water enterprise and solid waste, most of the expenditures there are just pass-throughs related to providing the service. So obviously a little bit different. Water enterprise, we have our own employees and we operate our own well system, whereas solid waste, both street sweeping and solid waste, green waste, and recycling services are provided by Mid-Valley Disposal. We operate 2 different what we call special revenue funds. One is for local transportation funds. That includes gas taxes, LTF allotment that we receive from the state, and then locally or regionally Measure C. And then the second one is our 1% public safety tax, or better known as Measure E. Relatively straightforward with regards to the revenues that we receive for both. The projects that were completed using local transportation funds this past year. We have general maintenance projects that we do every single year, which include sidewalk repairs. That helps pay for a portion of our street lighting. But then we also do a lot of our major street projects. So these projects were done last summer. So Tulare Street Phase 1, northeast portion, 23rd, 24th, and 25th Avenue, portion of Stroud Avenue from 22nd to Madison. And then there are costs that are encumbered this fiscal year that will help design and prepare for the projects that will actually occur here after the new year begins in 2027. And so those funds, so while it will occur this summer, they'll actually occur in the next fiscal year and will be part of the next fiscal year budget. So just some brief highlights for this 2025-2026. It's 11th consecutive year of receiving the GFOA Distinguished Budget Award. We did a couple of large master plan updates, including our general plan and our parks master plan, which was just accepted by council recently. 3 of the 4 solar installations have been completed citywide, and we're getting closer on the 4th one at Public Works. Some other, just very close to completing about 38 capital improvement projects totaling a little over $4 million. Obviously we are also undertook Measure E renewal efforts, which is on the ballot today. So before I jump into 2026, 2027, that was a quick overview. Any questions for the current fiscal year? No? Great. So just these are our main general fund revenue sources, just a recap there. So we have our general sales tax, our Bradley Burns, our transient occupancy tax, also known as our hotel bed tax, building permitting, licensing, motor vehicle license fees, franchise fees, and then just property taxes, including CFD contributions. So we are projecting a revenue forecast for fiscal year 27 of a little just shy of 7.9 million. Which is a little bit less than what we are projecting for the for this current fiscal year. But that's often a part of our projections. We tend to estimate conservatively, so that, we don't get out in front of ourselves. So here's a trend of the last several years. 23 and 24 were a little bit of anomalies because there were some large transfers that came in that year. It's not like we had very large one-time revenues in that. So more along the lines of the 8 million is more relative to what the trend line would be for normal operations. But we had some one-time transfers in 2023 and 2024 for larger capital projects in those particular years. And you'll see that somewhat reflected here as you see higher fiscal year 23 and fiscal year 24 on the far left-hand side, higher revenues, but then in 24, 25, we had higher expenditures to offset that. So some of that is just timing based on when the funds came in and then when we spent the dollars. But in general, we operate more in the fiscal year 25, 26 and 26, 27, where we're either outpacing expenditures or very close to in line. So our expenditure forecast as well is very close to what we're projecting with regards to revenue. Just shy of about 47% of our general fund goes to police. And then you can see the breakout based upon the other city council administration. So administration includes finance, city manager's office. It's a lot of the administrative work that happens here at City Hall. So that's why that's the second largest one there. Includes the largest portion of employees here at City Hall. So just some quick highlights with regards to our general fund expenditures. Nothing really different this year from previous years. We have a subsidy that goes to the fire and ambulance amount of just under $500,000 that helps offset the enterprise fund itself. We are estimating the same amount of positions, so no changes to full-time or part-time positions in the general fund across any of the departments. It includes a part-time neighborhood improvement officer position, which is code enforcement, and it also includes some consultant efforts for engineering plan check and other inspections. So those are offset by permitting and other fees that are paid for by the development community. So we'll see higher revenues and also higher expenditures in fiscal year 27 related to some of the single-family development phase 5 that I mentioned earlier. And then continuing community service programs, including our subsidies to the pool and senior center, as well as our hot meal program at the senior center, and including the partnerships that I previously mentioned. Again, police department maintains existing general fund positions. There are 17 total positions there. That is the amount that was there prior to Measure as well. We've had some questions about that, whether or not we continue to fund the same number of positions. That continues to be the case. We also have an annual amount that we pay to Fresno County for dispatching services. And then we do have some capital outlay in the police department. We are expecting to go to a lease structure this year so that we can get 5 or potentially 6 new vehicles sooner, as opposed to buying one vehicle at a time and then paying for them over the next few years. And then no changes to the public works landscaping divisions either. Recreation funds, again, similar. We have some minimum wage increases that impact our lifeguards and some of the also some of our senior center positions. Our pool costs continue to increase, mostly relative to how much it costs to heat the pool. So natural gas costs in the winter months, it's roughly around $10,000 a month to keep the pool heated. Again, special revenue funds. We are thankfully, we've gotten some projections that are a little bit higher on the local transportation side. We talk both a little over 6% in the gas tax. Our SB1 allotment is supposed to be up close to 9%. And our Measure C amount is roughly $540,000 for the coming year. So we talked a little bit about this last time. see what happens in November, and then we will have to make adjustments if those dollars go away. But that is roughly the, that's just to give you an idea of how much we receive from Measure C. The employees that are funded do come out of our gas tax, so there are no employees funded through Measure C. So it would really be costs for maintenance, street projects, things like that. So no employees tied to those dollars. We do have projects planned for 26, 27. Again, we have normal sidewalk repairs, street signage, other things. We are planning to purchase new downtown banners to replace the holiday ones. Those are the oldest of the holiday banners, or of the downtown banners. So that is in the budget for this year. And then we have road projects that the council approved our last meeting, and they actually had a kickoff meeting today. The majority of that work is expected to begin after the July 4th holiday. And then most of the work will be done prior to school going back into session in mid-August. So Tulare Street Phase 2, there's a handful of roads in the northeast part of town again, and then one of the large ones is Rayford Johnson Drive from Kern to Sierra. For Measure E for the coming year, council heard updates from both chiefs at our last meeting. Our revenue projections from our third-party consultant are a little over 2.8 million. And just from the sales tax side, there are some other revenues that we put into that account that include portions of the CFD as well as money from the UAL to offset those costs. Again, same funding levels for positions for both police and fire from the previous year, and then some capital projects planned. And then the Measure E Oversight Committee affirmed compliance with the budget on May 12th of 2026 this year. And we do maintain a small fund balance for future years. Again, enterprise funds for the current year. Pretty straightforward again, just the two rate changes that will will go into effect on July 1. And then we do have a GSA contribution right now, but the GSA is working with a new attorney on our contribution to CID based upon actual water delivery. So that could be changing from previous years. And then we do have a portion dedicated in our water department as well as in general fund for a portion of our debt payments related to the solar. We will be submitting, now that we had 3 of them online last year, we can apply now for rebates through the IRS. That was part of the original financing. So it's just shy of $900,000 for the 3 that are online right now. So we'll be submitting that in the coming weeks. Again, no changes with regards to solid waste in terms of expenditures. We do have some mandates that we have to comply with through 1383, which is related to the organics legislation that came through a couple of years ago. We got grant dollars to implement that, and then we work directly. Daniel works well with Mid-Valley Disposal to put those into to make sure that we're in compliance there. We continue to make bond payments on fire station number 2. I think those are through early the 2030s when they finally become mature. And then again, we continue to participate in both IGT, which is a federal program, and then PPG EMT, which is a state program that provides funding for GEMT stands for Ground Emergency Medical Transport. So because we transport so far away, that becomes a part of a big portion of our revenue to provide those services. We've talked about this previously, but community facilities districts are a part of all new developments since 2017. They are similar to landscape and lighting districts, but they are able to help fund a broader range of services, including public safety, road improvement, landscaping, and alley repairs. We have 2 zones in Fresno County. And then we also have a zone related to the Tulare County project that is collected from Tulare County and then remitted to the city. We are examining a zone 3 for the proposed senior housing, which is the Lilladala project just north of Ace Hardware. Now, the reason for that is that they don't have any roads that would be publicly maintained, so still would want to collect a portion of CFD from them, but it wouldn't be the same amount as the other two zones. So as they continue along in their development, that's something that we're working with them and the consultants on as well. Some other funds that are part of the budget each year, development impact fees. So those are collected as part of eligible new development, both residential and commercial. So as I talked about, track 6480 is the phase 5 97 lot West Star project. And then we have, was part of this year's capital improvement budget and will carry over into next year. We are in the process of updating our impact fee nexus study. So that's required now by the state to be done every 8 years. It is a study that must be done that allows us to charge the certain amount that we charge for development. So we are in the process of going through that right now. Our financing authority just includes our debt obligation payments, and then landscaping lighting is similar to CFDs, but only covers 13 zones. And unfortunately, in some of those zones, when they were originally created, did not include a CPI escalator, so they pay the same amount every year. So we just collect a small amount, and it goes towards our most of it goes back towards public works maintenance for those areas. We do maintain several internal service funds. 3 main ones that we tend to talk about are the CalPERS UAL fund, the Economic Stabilization Fund, and the Equipment Reserve Fund. So we use surplus dollars each year to help fund these, and then in future years, council has the ability to utilize them to offset. So if there is a downturn in the economy, or if there are big swings in our UAL contributions for CalPERS, we're able to tap into that and then limit the amount of impact that it may have to regular operations or full-time positions. So we are anticipating a surplus from fiscal year 26 that will ultimately get transferred into these 3 separate funds. So that will be completed when the audit is complete. And so we'll use those audited amounts to make that transfer. From an insurance standpoint, our amount is actually slightly down projected for fiscal year. I should say fiscal year 27 there in the middle instead of fiscal year 26. My apologies. But the total amount this year is about $1.3 million, which is down about 5.8% from the current year. But you do see that in fiscal year 22, our total insurance contribution was about half that at $742,000. So that's really just a factor of the insurance market itself. You know, workers' compensation, other things, you know, we have added some positions since fiscal year 22, but not a grand amount that would equate to that. So those are just some things that I mean, each of the departments are having to work through as part of their annual budgets. And the main ones for us, obviously, are workers' comp, general liability, property, and vehicle insurance. We've talked previously about our CalPERS contribution. So again, we have 2 different contributors there. Our normal cost, which is a percentage of our existing payroll, so our existing employees on staff, and then our UAL amount, which is the gap between what CalPERS expects our eventual amount to be as people, you know, retire and live longer and receive those benefits, and that creates our annual contribution. And also it's made up based upon how CalPERS itself does as a fund. So you can see here, dating back to fiscal year 23, our total contribution was about $640,000, and our contribution for next year is expected to be about $960,000. So about a third increase over the last few years. Some capital projects that we have for the coming year. Some of these are grant funded. We do have some EV charging stations in the downtown that we're expected to be constructed in the next fiscal year. Talked about our streets projects this summer. We are replacing the second pool heater. We replaced the one or two a couple of years ago. The largest single capital project that we have for the coming year will be our well 10 TCP 123 treatment. That should kick off here within the next couple of weeks. And then I do have Measure E renewal election costs in there. That's just timing based. We're expected to get our bill from Fresno County, probably after the new fiscal year. So that's why that amount is in there for the coming year. And then we are planning to redo the senior center roof as well as some other water enterprise projects as well. We included our financial policies. There's no anticipated changes to the financial policies for this year. So basically it's a council reaffirmation of our procedures, which includes our investment policies. It outlines purchasing and expense policies, budget amendments. So I really just provides guidelines for staff, specifically department heads, with regards to spending throughout the year. This is a summary as part of this first reading. So our all funds budget is a little over $37 million for fiscal year 27. About 6.1 million of that is for capital projects, with the largest portion, as I mentioned, coming from well 10. These figures are mostly final, but obviously this is the first reading. And so if there are any final council or public input, certainly can be incorporated for the public hearing, which is set for 2 weeks from tomorrow on June 17th. We are proposing the use of a portion of our PERS UAL fund balance as was intended, just to help with some of those increased costs from year to year. And then we believe that we've helped continue to address some of our infrastructure and quality of life improvements as part of our capital improvement projects. And so we're proposing 27 projects totaling 6.1 million for the coming year. So that concludes my quick overview, but I'm certainly happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Well, thank you. That was a very nice overview. Does anyone have any questions? Is there any public comment on this item? No. Okay. Well, that is informational. We have, 2 weeks to digest this. And if you have any questions, we'll be discussing it again. I will move on to future agenda items. There's none listed. Is there anything anyone would like to bring up for a future agenda item? Okay. Well, then we'll move to the city manager's report.
Again, reiterate, we'll have a public hearing on June 17th as part to consider the budget. We'll also consider the landscape and lighting district, the community facilities districts as part of that, and the GAN limit at that time. So other than that, nothing to report.
Very good. Okay, we'll move to the council reports, and we'll start with Councilmember North.
SKF will meet next week. Chamber of Commerce will also meet next week. A few notes from the chamber. They had a Swedish Festival debrief meeting. They wanted to say thank you for Public Works to be able to be part of that debrief. The next meeting is June 9th at 5, and band concerts start next week, June 11th.
Thank you. Councilmember Silva.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. First Show Committee had their wrap-up meeting after council last week, or 2 weeks ago. And just to reiterate, it was a great event. They also thanked city staff, and they also have an interested party and sponsor already, title sponsor. So that's really good that they're ahead on that. And then just a couple other takeaways. The high school trophies were the trophies that were made by the high school ag department were a big hit. So everybody had positive comments about that and said that was really unique and brought something special to an additional special item to the car show. So I thought that was really cool. Switching to Kingsburg Healthcare District, they will meet tentatively on 6/10 next month, or this month, sorry. No, next month, sorry. Wait a minute. Yeah, sorry, this month. They're off in July. That's why I was a little bit, sideways there. But anyway, they tentatively meet next week. And then the only other thing to report, and I normally don't do this, but I'm going to throw out just a little bit of a teaser. So the Economic Development Committee hasn't met, but there is an interested party in the business park lots up on the frontage road. So I always like the business park items because that's, near to district, it's in District 1, near to me. And so I always like to see action going on there. So I think that's promising. I can't give any more information than that, but stay tuned and we'll see if that business can come to fruition and secure a building and put in a business there. So with that, that concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Palomar.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee has not met since our last meeting. Planning Commission is scheduled to meet next week. Community Service Commission met last week. Adam spoke about the upcoming Prop 68 grant cycle. He asked the commission to think about what projects they think are important. And then they're going to apply for that grant. Adam gave the commission photos of water fountains around town and in parks. They discussed which fountains need upgrades. And also, they also discussed how to raise funds for future projects. So that's something they're looking at for their commission. And that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Purcell.
Council of Governments and Rural Transit last week. The agenda was pretty light and they're moving next month's meeting up either by a week or a day. I think we're going to be finding out soon. So other than that, I have nothing to report.
Okay, very good. The Finance Committee will meet on June 22nd. Bid met this morning and we received an update from Oat and Oak, and our next meeting is going to be July 7th. Two items that I'll report on. I attended the Mid-Valley ribbon cutting and that was very interesting. They received some grant funds and they expanded their Fresno facility. They installed 6 robots in their recycling facility. And just to give you an idea, because it was interesting to watch them, these robots can sort 25 items a minute. They pick up like plastic bottles and paper, whatever they're programmed to. So the system that they've installed is estimated to recover 18.7 million containers a year and increase their processing capacity by 60%. It's very interesting to get the tour of the facility. The other ribbon cutting I attended was last Saturday. Empower Her Fitness is a women's kickboxing gym, really neat facility right here down Dalloway. So it was very nice to welcome them to town. And that is all I have. So I am going to adjourn the regular Kingsburg City Council meeting into closed session. So I will adjourn us back into our regular city council meeting. Do we have anything to report? Okay, thank you. So that concludes our meeting.